And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For today's podcast episode, I have my good friend Clinton Robinson with me today, independent director. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And with me is my good friend Charlie. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And today we are actually reviewing season 1, episode 2 of Loki. This is going to be our spoiler discussion show. So if you're into spoilers and you don't care if you get this show spoiled for you, that's okay. If you don't like spoilers, watch Loki first for episode 2 and then come back over here and watch our show. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and get on with it. So I definitely love the opening scene where you see one of the people from the time from the future and everything else, where they're actually focusing in on the time and things like that. I love the opening scene where she's actually taking everybody down, and that song "I Need a Hero" is playing. That just reminds me of the fan-made video that we got with Thor Ragnarok and everything. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah. So it's actually funny that Disney decided, let's go on ahead and replicate what this one fan put out and do it this way. And it made it fun. It made it actually pretty fun. I thought that it was really a fun scene. And of course, you're wondering, okay, what's up with that? Is she working for Lady Loki? Is she just an informant inside the place? And then, of course, then you realize that Lady Loki is under her possession. And then also,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, like, it was a cool opening, especially how, like you said, it's like the whole time police people, like, were following their agency. It was really cool. I liked that, like, they made you, at the start, you think you're, like, back in, like, old-time England, and there's, like, 1985, like, Wisconsin Renaissance Fair. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool gag. But, yeah, it's an awesome beginning. It gave me definitely Thor Ragnarok vibes, and kind of like what Marvel usually does with like some of their action sequences, at least as of late, where they make like some fun stuff about it. It seems like they're really getting a lot more lighthearted with their creations than when the beginning where it was a little darker.
That's true. That's very true if you actually think about it. And, I definitely like this lighter tone. I love the quick action sequence I thought the choreography was really good when it came down to her fighting, to be honest. And then, of course, we get into the whole entire thing where Loki is trying to find out where this other variant is. And I liked how he actually explains it with Owen Wilson's salad. He goes, okay, this is Ragnarok. And he goes, no, that's my salad. He goes, hold on. So basically, I can do anything I want here. Takes salt, takes pepper, starts doing this. And he goes, and now I'm manipulating that Ragnarok. I can do anything I want to it. And then after that winds up happening, he's like, okay. And then he goes, okay. And pretty much I can go on ahead and kick rock off of the Hulk off of the bridge if I wanted to, and not even have any consequences because it's going to get destroyed anyway. So therefore, there's no consequences behind what I'm doing because it's going to be destroyed anyways. So I like how he actually broke that down and how he was able to set that up. What about you, Charlie? What did you think of the start of it and everything?
Go back to the opening. I love the opening. I thought it was really cool, and I think that just seems to be the theme for Marvel this year is the song "I Need a Hero." Because over the weekend they announced a video game at E3. That's if anybody doesn't know what E3 is, it's a gaming convention. They announced the Guardians of the Galaxy video game by Square Enix, and that song is played during the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy video game, and it's that same song, "I Need a Hero." So I just thought that was kind of clever. That seems to be the trend, and it could be the trend for Phase 4. Like, who's going to be the next person to stand up? Who's going to be the next hero to take the lead? In a sense,
I definitely agree with you on that too. Like, it does seem like they're trying to like make us think who's in charge now, because like every show's been about being a hero, or if you even want to be a hero. And it looks like these movies seem to be like, at least Black Widow is like somebody trying to become a hero. Like, it seems like that's their theme right now.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Like I said, I mean, I think that's a good song for this phase, because the only phase we had is Spider-Man and him. Like, you need to be the hero, and it's Spider-Man taking it. So, and we haven't had a Marvel movie since Spider-Man in theaters. So, and like I said, that seems to be a good idea for the face about, like that was the whole theme for Winter Soldier. Somebody stand up to be the hero. It's ironic because Loki's no hero. He's an anti-hero. He's neither good nor he's bad. So it's kind of funny that they played it. But yeah, and I love the like the opening, and then that's how Loki's like he's describing stuff, and everybody's looking at him like, yeah, and like, what's the back of your jacket say? Variant, exactly, or whatever, and and then he's trying to like get into the minds of everybody, like, hey, I'm tricking you. No, I'm not. But am I? We'll see. So it's that kind of theme of like, is he going to turn on them or not? That seems to be like the little like, ooh, here's the dollar. You almost had the dollar. Like, he's playing a trick on them. Like I said, I thought the banner between him and Owen Wilson is hysterical. Like, I think they got chemistry, and the two of them just play off each other. Like I said, I thought the him describing Ragnarok was pretty funny, and him destroying the salad, and like, hey, I can do shit in this apocalypse, and yet nothing's gonna happen. And then when they go to Pompeii, it's like, hey, this place is gonna explode. Like, anything's happened. I'm doing all this stuff here. Here's some food. And he's chucking it at people. See, nothing happens.
Letting out the goats and everything. Go, my furry friends, go. I really love that scene, to be honest with you, and everything. And then he goes, it's going to get destroyed anyways. No, you have to be low-key, Loki. You cannot do that. What? There's no consequences. And pretty much that's like Loki's playground, if you think about it. He's just having a good time on this playing field of being able to do anything he wants and be the butthole, the asshole that he actually is, and everything too, without having any consequences behind it, because we actually saw in the very first episode where there was all consequences behind his actions, and that's also what shaped him into trying to help them out and everything too, with the timeline as well. And with this one, there's no consequences for his actions because stuff is already going to happen anyways, because it's already been pre-planned out. So it's basically his own playground, his own play field and everything. But yeah, I thought those scenes were really well put together. It reminds me of a buddy cop movie, to be honest with you, in a sense. I know that we got that with Falcon and but this one feels more like Lethal Weapon kind of vibe, where you have two different levels, or maybe 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte a little bit. Oh, hold on, we got somebody coming in. Hey, LaDasha.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. It's good to have you on.
Yes, good to see you, John.
Good seeing you too, as always. So we were just talking about how we like this world that Loki was in, where he had no consequences behind his actions or anything like that. It was pretty much his own playing field, and he enjoys the fact that there's no consequences and everything. We went through the whole entire setup, though, too, of the opening scenes and stuff like that. So since we got into that point, what did you think of the opening? And also, too, the no consequences and stuff like that for Loki.
The opening was pretty good. I have to say that the opening was pretty good. I think I'm still getting adjusted to Loki being an agent. I'm just it's weird, and I'm interested and I'm pulled into it, but it's just strange having him, reading books in the library and going, working in a bureaucracy. That part I'm still just trying to get used to that.
That's part of the
windbreaker.
That's part of the fun for the show, though, don't you think? Like, seeing him a fish out of water, like an agent of chaos in this place of like pure order and efficiency. Like, I like seeing like this trickster god in that role. It makes it like fun, and you're like, he's gonna snap at some point and do something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that is the fun part about it. I think that's why I'm just kind of looking at it like, yeah, this guy is basically wild, and he's probably in the most ordered and structured environment he's ever been in his life. So, that is just, kind of weird. But I think the opening scene is the Renaissance Festival in Wisconsin. And
yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like the sorriest Renaissance festival I ever seen. It seemed sort of joyless and people kind of walking around in a circle, and the only kind of life is the woman who's like, "We need this for our life," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much anybody going to a fair or Renaissance." It's like I do need to get away from my life. So, but it's going into the tent, you can almost feel that something was gonna go wrong. And the part that I don't get about the TVA is if you have this person out there killing agents, then why do you keep sending agents out here over and over again to get killed? Because clearly they don't know what they're looking for, they don't know what they're dealing with, and it's like they just send agents after agents, and they're all just
right. The definition of chaos is
here.
Right, because think of it like this: the definition of chaos is repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yes.
But then once we were getting into the whole fact of how Loki got caught onto the formula and everything and figured out the formula of, well, certain things that takes place in an apocalyptic time, so therefore there's no consequences behind that because it's going to be destroyed anyways. So therefore I can do whatever I want in this universe. It does not affect me. I don't care. And that place is playing ground and everything too. That's what we were getting at though too when you came in and everything. But yeah, I thought it was very entertaining as far as that goes and everything. I'm glad that they explained it in that physics kind of way, but it's kept it simple for us because Loki is basically like us as the viewers who are not used to this big, huge, long-term lingo and everything else that these other agents are throwing at us. So he just puts it in lamest terms for us to actually understand and everything. He's teaching us quantum physics in a lamest term kind of way. But
Yes, and it also brings out the fact that when you have so much order and structure, you have groupthink, and you need somebody like Loki to come in and think outside the box. So you can see that pattern because they got the information, they just wasn't seeing the pattern. They just have like this tunnel vision. We just got to run and find a variant, but they weren't understanding or putting together the pieces of how this variant was operating.
Exactly. But Charlie or Quentin, is there anything that you wanted to add to that though too?
About the chaos area, I just thought it was like a funny little viewers. If you don't know who Loki is, here you go. Him in his natural environment. I think that was actually a great part of the show. If not fun, it really didn't teach us anything other than, hey, it's a fun time for Loki, which was nice for how heavy some of the stuff can be sometimes in these types of shows.
I think Clint pretty much hit it. It's just kind of interesting to see you're seeing a fish out of water, but yet Loki does some magic, and when he completely it's when they're in the grocery store, when his suit's all his jacket and his pants are all that, he does the magic. It's like, what'd you do? What? I just did magic to make my clothes dry. Jeez, get pretty much get over yourself. But yeah, and I also like that they keep bringing back the Miss Minute, and then how she's the when Loki's doing the training, the little mascot, and Loki's trying to hit her. It's like, hey, that's not cool, and she just jumps right back into the computer.
Yeah, I love Miss Minute. I love her. She is so funny.
It's like the Reader's Digest to the timelines.
Yeah,
it's so simplified. It's I guess pick up on it.
Yes, I love Miss Minute. I think she's gonna be the star of the whole show.
But she was fed up with Loki, though. She was. I like how Owen Wilson just shows up at the computer. She's just really pissed off.
I like the way she went and hid inside the computer when she. And he was like, "Oh, you're hiding."
Yeah, I was reading the Jet Ski magazine. I'm like, "Oh, have you done your trainings?" Yeah, I've done some of them. They're boring, but I've done some of them. And he's rounding off the information.
Yeah.
But then we get into the other stuff though too. Finally, we're getting some breaking ground within mid episode, basically, where they're sending in these agents over and over again, like Ledestia was mentioning, and everything too. And it's like a repeated process over and over again. And then finally, Loki's like, "Look, you have to stop sending agents in here. This person, whoever it is, even though it's a variant of me and everything, and we're supposed to go after a variant of me." You have to put it in my perspective of what I would do rather than what somebody else would do. Because remember, you're trying to capture a version of myself. So who's better to go after someone that's a version of myself than me? Because I know me better than anybody else does. Yes, you know aspects of my life. You've seen me talk. You've seen me in action. But do you know me is the big thing. Do you know what else I'm capable of? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I thought was the bigger picture of it all, though. It's like, yeah, they saw aspects of his life, they saw everything that he's done, but you're trying to send him in, and then you're trying not to do anything because you're afraid that he's going to backstab you. But what better way to go ahead and take someone down than have someone that knows somebody that is a carbon copy of themselves? To be honest,
and it seems like Modarius is the only one who gets it. I think that's his name, Modarius.
Mobius.
Yeah.
Mobius. Yeah, he's the only one that gets it. Everybody else is he's a variant. And Moldavius. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep calling him Moldavius, but he's the only one that understands that we are too rigid. We can't find him. Loki is the one that has to find him, and his ego is going to make him find this variant because he thinks he's better.
Exactly. And also, too, he's egotistical, he's self-centered,
yes.
And everything that he mentions is the same way that he is.
Yes.
And then, finally they give him some breathing room. Okay, we're going to trust you and everything. But what did you guys think about that setup as far as Loki's admitting, hey, look, you're trying to look for a version of myself. So what you're going to have to try and send me in some way. So why not now? So what do you I'm going to go on ahead and let either Clint or Charlie take it.
You go ahead, Clint.
Like the whole concept of like Loki going after himself, and then like we realize he has to like think about himself to go after himself and instruct people on how he is because they can't think in his mindset. Like it's like I just described. It was very interesting. It's just fun watching an egotistical character have to think like themselves and realize that. Like either they're the better version of themselves or they're the worst version of themselves. You know what I mean? Because he got introduced to this whole concept that there are millions of other Lokis, each of them a variant of himself in one way or another. Some of them bigger and stronger or smarter, or like in this instance, which is like a spoiler for later, is that it's Lady Loki. So she thinks completely differently than him. And like that was awesome to see it caught up at the end that maybe he wasn't the best version of himself. That maybe she was, because she outthought him completely. And like I liked watching Loki kind of get his just desserts in a way to find out even he's not better than himself.
It's an interesting idea to have you essentially go up against yourself, yet yourself, your other self of you. Too much self-talk is very confusing. It's very very Loki very hard to it's a lot of things to pick up on, but the idea of him facing himself but not really himself but sort of is, it's a very confusing but yet interesting topic. But then again, that's what this Loki is. It's like Loki, like the whole opening logo looks like it's a horror movie. It's like it reminds me of the logo of Seven, and it's that, and yet it's not that. It's kind of comical. It's got the comic elements in it. It's lighthearted, yet then it also deals some serious topics. So I think like I said, it's like it's some way, even though he's not directing it. Taika Waititi isn't like his tone from Ragnarok has kind of brought itself to Loki, because this is a very not happy subject of what's going on, yet he makes it kind of lighthearted. Yeah, it's still not for kids, but it's not as heavy as Falcon and Winter Soldier was in terms of the tone and stuff. So I like what they're doing. They're doing a thin line between one thing and another, and I like them for that. Like I said, it's a very interesting idea. It's confusing. That's why I think we need Miss Minutes to describe what Loki's doing versus his counterpart. And I think him getting his butt whooped was kind of funny, especially by a female, nonetheless.
Also, too, I want to mention this. We didn't. I like how he was reading the paper. This is the documents and everything. This is before he meets up with Lady Loki and everything too. I like how he's reading through the documents, and then you see him look at his own town, his own city, and he's like, "My city got destroyed," and the look on his face is distraught. He had his don't get me wrong, he had his family issues and stuff like that with Odin and Thor, but that's his childhood, that's where he came from and everything, and just the look on his face said it all. And I love how they're introducing little small things into the show where you have this Loki that has no idea what even happened, and then they're focusing in on that, and then it's already been confirmed that he's not going to be in other future films or anything like that. This is going to be his own feature and everything too. So this actually this also confirms the fact that he's only going to be in this realm with Owen Wilson and stuff like that too, because Owen Wilson says no, you can't go back there or anything. So he can't try and prevent anything, he can't try and do anything. What's been done is done. So I definitely love that aspect. But back over to the store and everything too, where Loki's actually trying to figure out, okay, where's this woman at? Where's this other version of myself at? He's actually trying to find different versions of himself through somebody else. It's a lot more of a deeper meaning if you actually look at it. It's like trying to find the best version of yourself through somebody else. And that's the way I looked at it whenever he was going through all those different versions. But what do you guys think? I want to know if you thought that same thing I did.
Well, and John, just going back to your point about when he figured out Ragnarok and all of that, it kind of, those are the poignant points of this show, I think, because it brings you back that this version of Loki didn't know anything about Thanos and Thanos killing him and all this stuff and his mom dying. And so all of these things are new to him. And you can tell that under the surface of all his ego is giving him purpose to avenge all of this stuff, because he loved his mom and, and of course he wanted to run Asgard, and it's not there anymore. So, it humanizes Loki. He's not just, just some dude just running around doing tricks and wanting to rule everybody. He has a heart. And I think that part is good. And I find what's interesting with Lady Loki, I was thinking to myself, like, what if I was going up against the male version of me? Like, I had to solve a crime and it was like literally the male version of myself. And I'm like, that would be so intriguing. And it's almost like Lady Loki figured that out. And so she started putting herself in all these different bodies to kind of throw him off, because she knows it's going to throw him off. So, I mean, I just found it fascinating. I mean, how do you, like, John, if you had the female version of yourself running around, could you, could you really make out what they're going to do?
I can know what I'm going to do, but as far as what that other person is, no, they're going to end up playing mind games with me. I'm going to be honest with you.
And that's what she's doing.
Right, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, I can't imagine another version of myself either. To be honest.
me either. I could not. I could not. I
Yeah,
know.
I wouldn't want to go against like any other version of myself. Like I know I just give myself a bad time on purpose.
I know, because I'm like, would the male version of me go to Walmart instead of Target? Like, it's just crazy.
Oh God.
Right. I'm dead. It's like, okay, would the female version or another version of me want to get an Armani suit or something like that over just blue jeans or something?
Yeah,
But
just Levi's or
Oh, your sister's on.
Hey, Mika.
But Charlotte, what's your thoughts though?
Another version of me? No. That'd be weird. I mean, it was like I said, it was interesting about them, like the different personalities that Lady Loki had to choose until finally revealing herself at the end. About first like taking over the guard, and then taking over this guy named Randy, and then into a redneck. and the guy that when he was in that big brute version, he was beating the crap out of Loki. I don't know if Loki was planning on that or what. I don't know, but he had his way with him on that one, and then finally being like then revealing it's that. Even though she's got the horns and everybody's thinking it's Lady Loki, I don't know if I don't know if it's really her, to be honest. Could be another form. But I mean, again, I'm not sure. That's the intrigue on it. That I don't think it's really Lady Loki. That's the stuff I've been reading, but I'm not 100% sure on that though. But it's interesting though. I think in the end, I think it is Lady Loki, but it just leads to other ideas, and so much conspiracy theories and stuff regarding it. So, but like that, and then like I said, the way the show ended, I thought was just like boom, cliffhanger.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have to. They always want to leave us in suspense. But yeah, the ending was cool. I kind of expected almost maybe, I don't know why, I was like maybe Loki won't. I don't know why he thought I thought he would do the right thing. But
you know what? I think I'm also gullible though as well, because on that aspect though too, Clint, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he is trying to transform himself. Maybe he is turning a new leaf. And all of a sudden he goes into that little thing to actually teleport. I'm like, nope, never mind. I am wrong once again. But
I think he's still doing the right thing though. He's going after Lady Loki to stop what she just did and caused all these, like, she just caused chaos in an area that's not known for chaos. She just caused the epic amount of chaos, like different timelines, like all over the place. She really just opened up the gates of hell and opened up the gates of the multiverse. So, and that's why Loki went after her to kind of stuff, because he knows deep down these people are going to do it because they're idiots, as he called them. You guys are idiots, and that's why he went after her himself.
Well,
because
he's the only one who can do it, Charlie. I mean, he's the only one that can chase Lady Loki around.
Yeah,
exactly. But the only thing is, though, too, can he manipulate her the way he manipulates everybody else? He would have to do some major reverse psychology on her in order to do that. Or he would have to actually pretend that he's working with her to do that, though, and then backstab her when she's least expecting it.
But she's Loki. She's going to always expect it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another thing, though, too. But he has to try and figure out a loophole or somewhere to where he can actually do it. And do it in the right way, because they are both alike. So you have to try and do something to try and bring her down. But I love whenever we see Randy at first. She transforms into Randy. You're so great. Just the name that I didn't want. or some. I'm not. And then it goes from Randy to the redneck guy, and the redneck guy goes on ahead and kicks his butt everywhere, kicks his ass everywhere, and stuff like that. But the thing that makes me laugh though the most is like just when I was missing Randy, is what he says whenever he gets knocked down to the floor, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah. The way she went from one person to another, that was pretty funny.
It definitely was. So I know that both of y'all weren't on the episode 1, but what was y'all's main thoughts on the very first episode?
Clint introduced the concept for it pretty well. I like, as far as introductory episodes go, I think it definitely did the best that it could. You know what I mean? Like, we were definitely left with a lot of questions, but it definitely was just more left of like intrigue questions and questions of like rules of the show and things like that. It definitely established the premise very well. Honestly, I didn't have any major complaints for it. And that's pretty good considering I am a filmmaker, so I could have like nitpicked it. Not so much for that one.
And I thought episode 1 was pretty good. It took me a while myself to figure out. I felt like I was like Loki. I was a fish out of water. Like, where is he? And it looks like the DMV, and I definitely felt like the numbers thing. I mean, our DMV here, you literally have to take a number. You the only one there. You're like, really? This is ridiculous.
It really is. It reminds me of,
I have done that.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my town where we get our license plates and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have to take a number. I'm like,
is nobody here?
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's freaking here.
But you know what else it reminds me of? It reminds me of Beetlejuice, the movie, where where Beetlejuice has to take a number.
Yeah.
And everything. So that's what it reminds me of as well, to be honest with you.
And all the mountain of paperwork, and they're like, yeah, just sign here. You're like, I don't even know what I'm signing. I'm just signing my life away. And the long snake line to get the one teller, where you got to go round and round and round. It is just...
Tamika, the first episode was interesting when Mobius tapped into Loki's psyche of what his true pursuit is. I like that though too, to be honest with you.
Yes. I did like when he sat down with Loki and showed him everything. Yeah, I know. and it just kind of got to not so much the core of Loki, but the beginning of what Loki is about. So I mean, I have no issue with episode 1. It really was a good intro. It just took me a minute to figure out where are we.
Right, just like Clinton was saying though too, was it's all about setting up the rules of the program of the very first episode, getting to know Loki in this universe versus him in the MCU universe, because this version is different than the MCU universe, and trying to get used to him on a smaller screen as well, and then also to establishing the rules. And I thought they did a very good job at establishing the rules, and it seems like we get more of the rules and stuff like that in not each episode, but in the second episode too, we get the rules again and everything too, to just refresh our minds, because basically we have an attention span of a goldfish that we don't really remember everything. So therefore we have to be reminded of certain elements. So I definitely like that.
What do y'all think of Owen Wilson? I mean, I couldn't even believe he was Owen Wilson until the end. I'm like, really? This is Owen Wilson?
He looks like Jeopardy.
I love Owen Wilson. I'm a big Owen Wilson fan.
Me too. So, I love him. I'm like,
he's got the most recognizable nose in the industry, man. You gotta love him.
True. I love Owen Wilson, but I'm like, man, he cannot be this old.
He definitely has that Alec Trebek hairstyle, though. If you think about it, he does remind me of an Alec Trebek if he had like a broken nose.
Yeah,
and he had a little bit of sass to him. But I thought Owen Wilson was a great fit into this. Like I mentioned to Clint earlier, I said that it felt like a buddy cop film, and I mentioned Lethal Weapon, but now I'm thinking 48 Hours with when we have Nick Nolte and Of course, you also have Eddie Murphy, but it reminds me of that kind of aspect to it and everything. And that's what makes it fun. We have a futuristic kind of style show that's, fantasy mixed in with a buddy cop type of theme that actually works because of the chemistry between Owen Wilson and, Tom Hiddleston. I thought it was
like
really
trading places too.
You know what? I didn't think about that analogy. That's actually a pretty good analogy on that.
Yeah, it's kind of like trading places because you got the uptight Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy is all crazy.
I can see it.
But Charlie, what did you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Owen Wilson's great for this. I mean, it's so funny he's always done comedies to see him in the MCU. I mean, they're getting everybody in the MCU. I mean, you got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, comedy person in the MCU. Now you got Owen Wilson. I'm surprised he hasn't said "wow" a lot.
To be honest with you, I was reading a movie reviewer thing about episode 2. He said the only disappointment I had in the first 2 episodes is there's no wow. And I don't mean like as in wow, this show sucks. I mean like wow, no wow from Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
I think they have him on the strict pitch count. It's probably written in there. There will be no wow in this script.
I can just see him at the audition thing or whatever. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably what he said when he saw the script. Wow. I can't say wow.
There's a clause, Owen, what? You cannot say wow.
No, you cannot.
Wow.
And we'll make you look like Alex Trebek.
Yeah, I kind of miss the Owen Wilson hair, that long hair.
Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, wait a minute.
Nah, the second I saw the nose, I knew.
Right. That broken nose.
I mean, it's going to be interesting if he actually gets involved in the fighting. Like, if they have him have like either an action sequence or a fight sequence in the show, that would be interesting.
I'm thinking he has to be, Charlie. He has to be involved in some kind of fighting.
I don't know. It's Owen Wilson. What do you expect from him?
Well,
We'll just wow.
I don't know, Clint. He kind of beefed up in here. I'm like, look like he's been working out. He may be getting ready for some
maybe. Maybe. You never know. It's the MCU. He's making. No wonder they only had 6 episodes. They had to pay for Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston.
I know. I thought Tom Hiddleston was an executive producer. I'm like, okay, go ahead, Tom.
Right.
He probably died off and he went off to Kevin Feige and he was like, hey, man, like, I want to make a Loki show now.
Yeah.
I could just see his pitch. It'd be great, Kevin?
Me.
What?
Just me.
Just me.
Yeah,
no one else.
Yeah,
this show needs to be about me.
And I need to produce it about me.
And I could just see him showing up in a Loki outfit like he did with Comic-Con and acting like Loki.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I love about the MCU. Most of the actors have a lot of fun being a superhero or supervillain.
Yes, they do. They love playing these characters. I love watching them.
Here's a little fun fact though. When RDJ played Tony Stark, he didn't go by his real name on set. Everybody called him Tony.
Yeah.
And then the improv thing, he wanted Burger King. So him eating that burger and everything too was improv. He just got back from eating Burger King, getting a burger from Burger King. So he went on the set eating a burger.
That was actually a big problem with Robert Downey Jr. in the movies, is that he wasn't supposed to be eating on set. He would actually hide snacks on set. So like the whole blueberry thing, that wasn't on purpose.
Lord.
They ended up recording and he was just eating out of a blueberry thing when it wasn't his lines. So they kind of just kept it.
Yeah.
Like literally there was somebody, a PA every morning had to go through and find all of his snacks and still he would have snacks.
Well, you can tell in the original Iron Man that it looks like they just rolled film while he was doing stuff because it looked like it wasn't even a scene that said start or action. Right. It was just him doing stuff.
It's like let's just keep the camera going. He's not supposed to eat the food, but
yeah.
let's keep on going. That's totally Tony Stark. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, let's keep going.
That's to bring it back to Loki. That's actually how Tom Hiddleston is
Right.
a lot with his character too.
Mhm.
Yeah, like in Ragnarok, the get help scene in the elevator, that was all improv.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
wow.
Great
Yeah.
sequence in that movie. You want to do Get
Mhm.
Help? I don't want to do it. We're doing
You-
Get Help.
I hate
Help,
get help.
help,
You love
help.
get help. Yeah.
But so as far as this second episode goes, is there any final thought? Oh, hold on, Tamika. Parts of the TVA was a shot at a hotel in Atlanta when
Yep.
Mobius and Loki was researching the variant in the library. My question for you, Tamika, were you in the library? Because we know that you're a librarian. So were you in that library at that time when it was being shot, or was that a shot at a different library? That's
It
what
was
I
shot
want
at
to
a
know.
hotel. It's the library scene, but it was shot at a hotel.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, shot in a hotel. Yeah, I see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, anyways, is there any other final thoughts as far as the second episode goes or anything like that? Or any type of predictions that you think that might happen in the third episode? Or what do you think about Lady Loki? Stuff like that.
I don't make predictions on these shows until the third one because we're
Right.
still setting
So
up.
soon. That's true.
Yeah, we're still setting up.
That's true.
But I don't know. I don't have any complaints with that. I really
Yeah.
don't have many complaints with Marvel stuff. Like specific stuff I do. And then sometimes I'll get nitpicky if I feel really bad. Like if I really just feel like I need to hate on it. But you know. As a filmmaker, the cinematography was on point, the writing was on point. You know, at this point in the superhero stuff, everything feels a little derivative because, you know, we've had like 30 Marvel projects and so many other superhero things the past 20 years. Is kind of, I'm getting a little drained on it, but still excited about it no matter the what. You know, it was a good episode. 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, I got no predictions because again, it's only episode 2,
Right.
and it's just, this is the type of show I probably don't have predictions because I don't know. I have any idea what's going on, and that's kind of a good thing. I mean, the visuals, visually, for a show, this is awesome. I mean, they've done some really good in the visual department for this series, and I just gotta give them props. It's awesome. But no, I mean, it's great. It was another decent episode, another good episode, and I'm intrigued to where we're going next. But I got no predictions.
Okay. Same here. No predictions as well, but I know someone who does. Tamika does. So I think Loki will gain Loki's trust and bless him into the dimension he cannot get out of.
I can see that.
It's a bold statement, though. He's the hero.
Well, I think Lady Loki is going to give Loki in the TVA just a bunch of problems.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I think she's 20 steps ahead of them. And, you know, even Loki with him thinking differently, I don't think he thinks like she thinks. And once he figures that out, that's probably going to scare the shit out of him, but he don't think the way she do. So, you know, it's hard to predict, but so far I've liked the 2 episodes. You know, it's been a good start. I'm definitely excited about next week.
Me too as well. And I don't have any predictions. I thought I'm going to mention Clint and everything. I thought the same thing. Cinematography was on point, acting's on point, dialogue and flow is good. Because the main thing for me is, you know, it can be campy when it comes down to certain comic book shows.
Yep.
Right. And these shows handle the dialogue with maturity and at a level to where it's good for the kids, but also good for the adults as well, to where you have both sides of the coin and everything to where it's actually fair on both ends. And that's something that I've always liked about Marvel movies and also the TV shows now and everything too. So everything for me worked in this show so far with 2 episodes. Can't wait to see what we have next. So with that being said, Clint, where can everybody follow you at?
Everybody can follow me at the letter R, the letter N, the letter R Productions 93 on Instagram. R&R Productions on Facebook. I think I have other social media. R&R Productions on YouTube as well. We haven't released anything on there for a few months, just because the company's been doing some restructuring. But we will get to starting to post stuff shortly. We have 7 short films in production, multiple feature lengths, big announcements coming out next week. So catch us on those 3 platforms.
Okay. And Charlie, I know that we have a little bit of an announcement for tomorrow night's show, so I'm going to go on ahead and let you take that one.
Okay, so for tomorrow night, John and I will be joined by my good friend Sean, and we're going to be continuing our Rambo reviews, and we'll be doing we're getting into the better Rambo. So if you didn't really care to listen to First Blood part, like Rambo First Blood, not much happens in that. Now we're getting to the good stuff. We're getting Rambo being Rambo. So we'll be covering Rambo First Blood Part 2 review tomorrow. Tomorrow night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m.
Central Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time.
6 o'clock Pacific Time.
Okay. And another thing too, guys, if you guys want to, go ahead and follow me on Facebook at Movie Lovers TV Lovers Night over there. Of course, underneath the same brand on Instagram, and also too, of course, on Pinterest. Of course, you guys can go in and get an audio-only broadcast of this episode and many more of our episodes where you guys get your podcast from. Another thing too is a simple share can go a long way. Go on ahead and do that. Also too, go to MovieLoversUnite.com for all your intimate needs and wants. Also, too, if you want to donate to the page, you guys don't have to understand this whole entire coronavirus put holes in other people's pockets. But if you want to show us some love, how do you do that? You're just going ahead, go to GoFundMe.com/Movie Lovers Podcast, and that's how you can donate to the show. Also, too, go on ahead, follow me on Twitter at Movie Lovers Unit over there. And then, of course, you can go ahead and follow me on Stereo at Movie Lovers Unit over there as well. We do a couple of shows from time to time on Stereo, so go on ahead and check us out over there. And then email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com if you want, or a sponsor, or if you just want to be on the show, or if you just want to go ahead and ask me some random questions or whatever, I'm fine with that too. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the show tonight for Loki, the spoiler discussion. Join us again next Wednesday, same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time. Always until next time, guys, it's been real, it's been fun. Can't wait to do this again, and have a good night.
Bye.